The following Sling Privacy Notice can be found on the Sling website at sling.com/offer-details/disclaimers/privacy-notice. There will be a link below in the video's description. Sling Privacy Notice, effective date, January 1st, 2025. This privacy notice explains how Sling TV LLC and its affiliates collect, use and disclose information about Sling subscribers and others who visit Sling's websites, view Sling's advertisements, or interact with Sling products or services, the services. In this notice, the terms Sling, we, us, and our refer to Sling TV LLC and its affiliates, which collectively own and/or operate the Sling television branded products and services, including both websites and apps. The term you refers to you as a subscriber to or user of our services. California Notice at Collection. We collect the categories of personal information as defined in the California Consumer Privacy Act, CCPA, listed in the table below. Category of personal information collected. Identifiers, including names, postal addresses, email addresses, online identifiers, IP addresses, account names, and other similar identifiers. Sold or shared, yes. Personal information categories listed in the California Customer Record Statute. Link to leginfo.legislature.ca.gov/faces/codes_display text.x HTML ?law code =civ division =3 title =1.81 part =4 chapter article including bank account numbers, credit and/or debit card numbers, and other financial information. Sold or shared, no. Protected classification characteristics under California law, including sex and/or gender, marital status, and age, over 40. Sold or shared, no. Commercial information, including information regarding products or services purchased, obtained, or considered, or other purchasing or consuming histories or tendencies. Sold or shared, yes. Internet or other electronic network activity information, including information regarding interactions with an internet website, application, or advertisement. Sold or shared, yes. Imprecise geolocation data, such as general location of devices or IP address. Sold or shared, yes. Audio, electronic, visual, or similar information, including phone call recordings, chat recordings, and chatbot recordings. Sold or shared, no. Professional or employment-related information, including employment status and history. Sold or shared, no. Education information, including education history. Sold or shared, no. Inferences, meaning inferences drawn from any of the information in the above-listed categories of information to create profiles about consumers. Sold or shared, yes. Sensitive personal information, including account login information in combination with passwords and precise geolocation. Sold or shared, no. As further described in this notice, we generally collect and use the above-listed categories of personal information to provide and manage the services and achieve legitimate business or commercial purposes. As noted in the table above, we sell or share. As these terms are defined in the CCPA, certain categories of personal information, and you may exercise your right to opt out of such disclosures by following the instructions provided in the footer link at sling.com/offer-details/disclaimers/your-privacy-choices. We retain each category of personal information that we collect for as long as necessary to fulfill the purposes described in this notice, including to satisfy legal or reporting requirements. More information, including a description of your legal rights, can be found below in the State Privacy Rights section. Personal information we collect. Account information. We collect and keep personal information you give to us when you sign up for an account, including your name, service address, billing address, email address, telephone number, bank account and/or debit/credit card number, logins and passwords and security questions and codes used to access the services, and other account information. We may also collect and keep other information about your account with us, such as billing and payment history, customer service interactions, and equipment and programming options. If you participate in our Inner Circle community, we may collect personal information that you provide, such as your feedback on programming. Usage information. When you use our services, we and/or third parties automatically collect usage information, including application usage data and logs, device type and ID, IP address, and location information. This usage information may be in various formats, electronic, audio, and other, and may be collected through our services or through third-party devices such as third-party streaming devices or applications provided through or used to access our services. Please see third-party services and websites below for more information. Viewership. When you or someone in your household watches a video program through our services, we may collect a record of your viewing activity. This applies to live television programming as well as video on demand, pay-per-view, and DVR services, corporate affiliates, and third-party information. We also may receive information about you and your household from our corporate affiliates and third parties such as programmers, business partners, consumer reporting agencies, and other data companies. This information may allow us to send you promotions that interest you or serve advertisements to you that match your interests and concerns. Cookies and other technologies. We and/or other companies we work with may use cookies, web beacons, pixels, tags, and similar technologies on or through our services, as well as third parties' websites, platforms, and electronic communications to understand users' online behavior and to collect certain information, including statistics about website and platform usage, broad demographic information, IP addresses, browser type, device type, internet service provider, referring/exit pages, platform type, date/time, stamp, number of clicks, and other similar information. We also may use session replay software, which collects information about your interaction with the services, including keystrokes, mouse movements, and form field entries, and may monitor your interactions with the services, including for our compliance verification purposes. If you use our website chat function, we collect and store information in connection with your use of that function, including personal identifiers and the content of the chat. You can access our services even when you've disabled certain cookies, but you may not be automatically recognized upon revisiting. Please visit the Information Choices and Changes section for further information, including about Do Not Track and how to disable cookies. Google Analytics. We use Google Analytics and signals in Google Analytics. This updates existing Google Analytics features, advertising reports, remarketing, cross-device reports, and reports on interests and demographics to provide aggregated and anonymized information about you, provided you have allowed personalized ads in your Google account. You can learn more about Google's data practices and your privacy choices by visiting google.com/policies/privacy/partners. Google provides an opt-out of Google Analytics by downloading and installing the browser add-on located here tools.google.com/dlpage/ga opt-out. Children's information. Protecting children's privacy is important to us. We do not direct the services to, nor do we knowingly collect any personal information from, persons under the age of 18. If we learn that a person under the age of 18 has provided personal information through the services, we will use reasonable efforts to remove such information from our files. How long we keep your information. We retain personal information about you for the amount of time necessary to provide our services and for as long as required to satisfy legal or tax requirements, for fraud prevention, or for other business purposes. If we de-identify information, we will maintain and use the information in de-identified form and not attempt to re-identify the information except as required or permitted by law. How we use personal information. We use the personal information we collect primarily for business or commercial activities, which may include using your personal information to provide, operate, and maintain our services, carry out billing and collection activities, communicate with you, for example, to contact you for administrative purposes, or to send you important updates and communications about this notice and/or other applicable terms. Confirm that you are receiving the levels of service requested and are properly billed. Identify when changes are made to your account or services. Inform you of products or services that may be of interest to you. Make programming recommendations. Understand your use of our services in order to make improvements and personalize them. Administer user surveys to collect your recommendations, reviews, and feedback. Send you marketing and promotional communications, including emails about the services and products or services of select business partners. deliver addressable or tailored advertising to you within the services, via email, or through third-party websites and platforms. Detect fraud and unauthorized reception of our services. Determine whether applicable policies and terms of service are being violated. Perform statistical or qualitative research and analysis. Maintain our do not contact lists. Comply with applicable law. Support our business operations and business transactions, and carry out other uses as necessary to provide our services. We will also use your personal information as described to you at the point of information collection or with your consent. Additionally, we will use your personal information as we believe necessary or appropriate to protect our rights, privacy, safety, property, and/or those of others. We may aggregate and/or de-identify information such that it does not reasonably identify you and use such information for other business and marketing purposes. We may combine the various types of information we collect and receive from and about you, including account information, usage information, information collected offline, across other computers or devices that you may use, and information received from corporate affiliates and third-party sources. Where applicable, we will use, disclose, and protect the combined information as described in this notice. Personal information we disclose. We may disclose information we collect from and about you with others as follows. EchoStar affiliates. We disclose your personal information to EchoStar and EchoStar affiliates, such as AirTV, Boost Mobile, Dish, Hughes, and HughesNet. Our service providers. We disclose personal information to third parties that provide business, marketing, payment processing, or technical support services to us and/or administer activities on our behalf. Our service providers may also include professional advisors, for example, lawyers, accountants, auditors, etc. Our analytics providers. We disclose your personal information to parties that assist us in performing analytics and help us measure the effectiveness of the services and our marketing and advertising efforts. Mailing list partners. We may disclose your name and postal address to other parties, such as charities, marketing organizations, corporate affiliates, or other businesses for mailing list purposes. Any such disclosure for mailing list purposes would be limited to your name and postal address, and the disclosure would not reveal, directly or indirectly, 1. The extent of your viewing or use of a television service or the services, or 2. The nature of any transactions facilitated by us. Corporate entities for business transfers. We may transfer your personal information if we are involved, whether in whole or in part, in a merger, sale, acquisition, divestiture, restructuring, reorganization, dissolution, bankruptcy, or other change of ownership or control. For example, if another entity acquires us or any of our assets, personal information we have collected may be transferred to such entity. In addition, if any bankruptcy or reorganization proceeding is brought by or against us, personal information we have collected may be considered an asset of ours and may be sold or transferred to third parties. Should such a sale or transfer occur, we will use reasonable efforts to try to require that the transferee use personal information we have collected in connection with the services in a manner that is consistent with this notice. Law enforcement or other third parties for legal, compliance, and safety purposes. We may be required by law to comply with a valid legal process, such as a subpoena, court order, or search warrant, or where there is a lawful request to disclose information about you. We may also disclose information about you to protect our customers, employees, or property in emergency situations and to enforce our rights under our terms of service and policies in court or elsewhere. Disclosure of de-identified or aggregated information. 1. Aggregated and de-identified information. We may disclose information collected or received from or about you in de-identified and/or aggregate formats. We may disclose this information to companies that collect and compile consumer data, including those that create reports about what programs people watch. 2. To companies and networks that provide programming. We may disclose information with networks and other providers of programming about what packages our subscribers have purchased and what programs our subscribers watch. We may also disclose some demographic or usage information. This information is de-identified and/or aggregated, and we will not tell the programmer which individuals or households watch the program. 3. To advertisers and companies that provide advertising services. We may also disclose information with our advertisers and our advertising service providers about when, where, and how, for example, streaming device, mobile device, or computer, an advertisement was viewed. We may also tell them certain pieces of demographic information about your household. We will not tell the advertiser which individuals or households watch the advertisement. Advertisers, advertising technology companies, and service providers that perform advertising-related services for us and our business partners may use cookies, web beacons, tags, and other technologies to collect information from or about you to tailor advertisements, measure advertising effectiveness, and enable other enhancements. For more information about advertising, see the Information we use for advertising purposes section below. Information we use for advertising purposes. We may use information about you for marketing or advertising purposes in the following ways. To provide you with more relevant TV advertising, we may use information we have collected or received from or about you through your use of the services or from third parties to show you advertisements that match your interests. We use information such as service packages purchased, pay-per-view, or video-on-demand purchases, and program viewing data. We may also use demographic and interest information, such as gender, family size, and hobbies you provide or that we obtain from other companies. You may be able to opt out of this internet-based advertising, as described below in the Information Choices and Changes section. To provide you with advertising for our services, we may use information we have collected or received from or about you through use of the service or from third parties to provide you with marketing information, offers, and advertisements for our services, or to exclude you from receiving certain marketing information, offers, or advertisements. Our activities with respect to such marketing information, offers, and advertisements may occur through our services or third-party websites and platforms. To provide you with more relevant online advertising, we and our advertising partners may also use information obtained about you through your use of our services or from third parties, or gathered through cookies and similar technologies, to deliver more relevant online advertising to you across other computers, devices, websites, and online services that you may use. Interest-based advertising. Advertisers, advertising technology companies, and service providers that perform advertising-related services for us and our business partners may use cookies, web beacons, tags, and other technologies to collect information from or about you to tailor advertisements, measure advertising effectiveness, and enable other enhancements. You may be able to opt out of certain types of interest-based advertising as described below in the Information Choices and Changes section. To provide others with more relevant advertising, we and our advertising partners may also use information collected from or about you by us or our advertising partners and information we obtain about you from third parties to deliver advertising that is targeted for individuals with similar interests. We may combine aggregated and/or de-identified information to create groups based on actual or assumed shared interests and/or factual characteristics. We also combine information about the programming that our customers watch on the services with their common interests to help us figure out what advertising may be most relevant. Network and information security. We take information security seriously. We use commercially reasonable efforts to prevent unauthorized third-party access to information about you. However, we cannot guarantee that these practices will prevent every unauthorized attempt to access or use information about you. Information choices and changes. Marketing and promotional communications. You can opt out of receiving marketing and promotional communications from us or manage your preferences at any time through your account settings. You can also opt out of receiving marketing and promotional communications from us by following the instructions included in any such communication that you receive from us. Please note that even if you opt out of receiving marketing and promotional communications from us, you will still receive non-marketing or transactional messages from us, including messages about your account and responses to your inquiries/requests. Cookies and do not track. Certain parts of our services require cookies. You may adjust your device or internet browser settings to limit certain tracking or to decline cookies, but by doing so, you may not be automatically recognized upon revisiting and may not be able to use certain features of the services or take full advantage of all of our offerings. Please refer to your device's settings or your internet browser's Help section for more information on how to delete and/or disable your device or browser from receiving cookies or controlling your tracking preferences. We might not recognize do not track requests or headers from some or all internet browsers. Interest-based online advertising choices. In addition to the privacy choices provided by Sling, some of our partners may also provide you with choices about how they handle your information. To understand your choices for receiving more relevant online advertising from members of the Digital Advertising Alliance, members of the Network Advertising Initiative, Trade Desk, LiveRamp, and Nielsen, please review the information below. 1. To learn more about interest-based advertising and to opt out of collection and use of information about your online activities for interest-based advertising by the Digital Advertising Alliance, DA, participating companies, please visit aboutads.info/choices. To opt out of targeted advertising through mobile applications, please visit youradchoices.com/appchoices. 2. To opt out of collection and use of information about your online activities for interest-based advertising by Network Advertising Initiative, NAI, member companies, please visit networkadvertising.org/choices. 3. To opt out of certain interest-based advertising provided by the Trade Desk, you can visit adsrvr.org. 4. To opt out of personalized advertising delivered by LiveRamp, visit liveramp.com/opt_out. 5. Nielsen's proprietary measurement software, which will allow you to contribute to market research, like Nielsen's TV ratings. To learn more about Nielsen's digital measurement products and your choices in regard to them, please visit Nielsen's privacy policy at nielsen.com/legal/privacy-principles/digital-measurement-privacy-statement for more information. Even if you opt out, you will still receive advertising from us and third parties. You may also still receive advertising from us or third parties that is customized based on information we've collected or received from or about you, or on information about your online activities from third parties that are not DA or NAI participating companies. You may also still receive advertising from us or third parties on connected devices unless you opt out as described below under TV and connected devices. TV and connected devices. Certain connected devices from third-party vendors, including connected TVs, gaming consoles, or other streaming devices, may also display interest-based advertising to you. You may opt out by setting your interest-based advertising preferences while using the device. These settings vary by device and may include device settings to limit interest-based advertising or similar settings accessible within the Sling app. Please note that even if you opt out, you will still receive advertising from Sling and third parties, and your opt-out preferences will only apply to the specific device. Third-party services and websites. When you use a third-party streaming device or voice assistant through our services, or access a third-party service, application, or website, even when doing so through our services, you should review the privacy statements of the third party to understand what information they may collect and keep. We are not responsible for the practices of such third parties. You may also choose, when available, to connect your account with third-party accounts, including with third-party social networks. If you share information about your usage of or activities on our services with such third-party accounts, then the collection, use, and disclosure of such information will be subject to that third party's privacy policies, which may differ from our own. We are not responsible for the practices of such third parties. State privacy rights. California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Iowa, Montana, Nebraska, New Hampshire, New Jersey, Oregon, Texas, Utah, and Virginia. California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Iowa, Montana, Nebraska, New Hampshire, New Jersey, Oregon, Texas, Utah, and Virginia give residents the right to know what categories of personal information are collected about them and how it will be used, disclosed, and sold or shared. The purpose of this section of the notice is to provide residents of these states with a description of our practices regarding the collection, use, disclosure of personal information, and how they can exercise their rights in relation to their personal information. Categories of personal information collected. We have collected the following categories of personal information about consumers in the preceding 12 months. Types of personal information we collect. Identifiers. Examples. Identifiers such as name, postal address, device identifiers, Internet protocol, IP, address, email address, and account name. Primary purpose for collection. Account creation, personalization and facilitating usage of the service, internal marketing, to prevent fraud and detect security incidents, to communicate important information, internal operations and compliance. Personal information categories listed in the California Customer Record Statute. Examples: name, postal address, telephone number, bank account number, and credit/debit card information, and other financial information. Primary purpose for collection: account creation, personalization, and facilitating usage of the service. Internal marketing: to prevent fraud and detect security incidents, to communicate important information. Internal operations and compliance. Characteristics of protected classifications under state or federal law. Examples: gender, marital status, age. Primary purpose for collection: account creation, personalization, and marketing. Commercial information. Examples: information regarding products or services purchased, obtained, or considered, credit score, or demographic information. Primary purpose for collection: account creation, personalization, internal marketing, internal operations, and compliance. Audio, electronic, visual, thermal, olfactory, or similar information. Examples: customer service call, recordings and website chat interactions, or other communications with Sling, including personal identifiers, call and chat content, and other website interactions. Primary purpose for collection: training, to prevent fraud and criminal activity, operational analytics, and to comply with applicable laws. Internet or other electronic network activity information. Examples: information regarding a consumer's interaction with an internet website, application, or advertisement, browser information, web analytics, including IP address, time of visit, pages visited, cookies, pixel tags, and other similar technologies. Information about your use of our network. Primary purpose for collection: facilitating usage of the services, personalization, internal marketing and operations, and to prevent fraud and detect security incidents. Geolocation data. Examples: general, location of customer devices. Primary purpose for collection: provision, development, and optimization of our services. Marketing and interest-based advertising, and to comply with applicable laws. Education information. Examples: education history. Primary purpose for collection: account creation and facilitating usage of service, professional or employment-related information. Examples: employment status and history. Primary purpose for collection: account creation and facilitating usage of service. Inferences drawn from any of the above information to create a profile about a consumer. Examples: consumer preferences, characteristics, trends, and behavior. Primary purpose for collection: development and optimization of services, personalization, and internal marketing. Sensitive personal information. Examples: a consumer's account login, financial account, debit card, or credit card number in combination with any required security or access code, password, or credentials allowing access to an account. Primary purpose for collection: account creation/management, sensitive personal information. Examples: precise geolocation. Primary purpose for collection: provide accurate local content with consent of user. Categories of personal information sold or shared. We sell or share the following categories of personal information: identifiers, imprecise geolocation such as IP address, inferences, commercial information, and internet or other electronic network activity information. We sell or share these categories of personal information to data analytics providers, advertising partners and/or networks, social media networks, and data brokers. We do not knowingly sell or share personal information about persons under the age of 18. Categories of sources of personal information. We collect the personal information identified in the chart above from the following categories of sources: from you and your transactions with us, such as when you request a product or service, or give us your contact information; from our affiliates; from others, including consumer reporting agencies and third parties that provide us with demographic and other information; from publicly available sources. Personal information we disclose for a business purpose. There are a number of circumstances where we disclose personal information to companies who work on our behalf to help us provide the services. We disclose the categories of personal information described above to our affiliates and our service providers as necessary to provide the services, measure the performance of our network and your devices, and for eligibility, verification, fulfillment, and administrative purposes. Your data rights. Residents of California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Iowa, Montana, Nebraska, New Hampshire, New Jersey, Oregon, Texas, Utah, and Virginia have the right to request certain actions with respect to their personal information. Residents of these states may request that we disclose what categories and specific pieces of personal information we collected about you in the preceding 12 months, as well as details regarding the business purposes for our collection and disclosure of your personal information, the categories of sources from which we collected the information, the categories of personal information we sold, shared, or disclosed for a business purpose, and the categories of recipients of such information. Request deletion of any personal information that we have collected from you, subject to certain legal exceptions. Correct inaccuracies in the personal information we maintain about you. Opt out of the sale or sharing of your personal information or of targeted advertising. Appeal the denial of any of your requests. Residents of Delaware and Oregon may request a list of specific third parties with which we have shared any personal data. If you choose to exercise these rights, you will not receive discriminatory treatment by us for your exercise of your rights. How to submit an access, deletion, or correction request. If you would like to submit a privacy rights request for access, deletion, or correction, please contact us at 888-363-1777 or visit our privacy portal at sling.com/offer-details/disclaimers/your-privacy-choices. How to opt out of the sale or share of personal information or of targeted advertising. To opt out of the sale or sharing of your personal information or targeted advertising, please contact us at 888-363-1777 or visit our privacy portal at sling.com/offer-details/disclaimers/your-privacy-choices. How to opt out of cookies on Sling Freestream. Go to watch.sling.com/your-privacy-choices. Alternatively, where available, you can use certain preference signals to exercise your opt-out rights automatically with all businesses that you interact with online, including Sling. If you enable a browser-based opt-out preference signal that complies with applicable law, such as the Global Privacy Control (GPC), upon receipt or detection, we will treat the signal as a valid opt-out request relating to personal information linked to that browser and any consumer profile we have associated with that browser. Please note that if you use different browsers or browser profiles, you will have to enable the signal on each one that you use. Verification of your identity. To process your request for access, deletion, or correction, we must be able to verify your identity to a reasonable degree of certainty. To do so, you must provide the required identifying information when completing the online request form or making a request through one of our customer service agents. We will ask you to provide your contact information and an additional identifier based on your relationship with us. Before we process your request, we will match these data points with data points we currently maintain to verify your identity and your relationship with us. Responding to your deletion requests. Please note that we may not be required to delete information under certain circumstances, such as when retention of the information is necessary to complete a transaction or for a legal compliance purpose, to detect security incidents, or for certain other internal purposes. Authorized agent requests. You can designate an authorized agent to make a request to access, delete, correct, or opt out on your behalf. When you use an authorized agent to submit a request for access, deletion, or correction, you must provide the authorized agent with written permission to do so, and in certain circumstances, we may ask you to verify your own identity directly with us. We may deny a request from an authorized agent that does not submit proof that they have been authorized by you to act on your behalf. California. Limit the use of my sensitive personal information. Sling does not use or disclose sensitive personal information without your consent for purposes other than those specified in the CCPA. Nevada. Nevada SB 220. Nevada law permits Nevada residents to make certain requests about how their personal information is shared with third parties or affiliated companies. To make such a request, please visit our privacy portal at sling.com/offer-details/disclaimers/your-privacy-choices. Questions or concerns. If you have any questions or concerns regarding this notice or our privacy practices, please contact us at the following address. Dish Network, LLC, attention. Office of the General Counsel, Sling Privacy Matters, P.O. Box 655, Englewood, Colorado, 80155-6655. Changes to this notice. We may modify this notice at any time. We will notify you of any material changes or changes required by applicable law through written, electronic, or other means as permitted by law. This has been a reading of the Sling Privacy Notice, effective date, January 1st, 2025. A link to the full text can be found in the video's description. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.